Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a special episode and a special presentation of the NCSL Dynasty here on NCAA 14, featuring the college football revamp. It is that time of year, college football playoffs right around the corner, and when we first started this season, we had more than 120 teams that were vying for a national championship. And now we are down to the last 8 teams in the country who have taken separate paths but lead to the same result, a bid for the national championship. And in this episode, not only will we see the quarterfinal games, but also the semifinal games and ultimately that national championship game at the end of the episode. So guys, I hope you're excited about this one, because I certainly am. If you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me, hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive right into it, starting with the quarterfinals of the college football playoff in the NCSL. Alright guys, so we will officially get things underway here with the college football playoff. We are going to start with our first quarterfinals game that we have going. We got Syracuse, who was the number 2 seed in this tournament. Well, they will be taking on the USC Trojans, who got one of 3 at-large berths here in the college football playoff. So we'll see how Syracuse can handle the pressure, as starting the game off, the ball is on the ground, recovered by USC. And on your first drive of the game, you end up doing that. That is an absolute tragedy. So we'll see if USC can take advantage, as Warren Williams fires down the left-hand side and finds Jeff Evans for a 32-yard reception. It puts the Trojans in the red zone, and it looks like they might be pushing it into the end zone, except their guy is going to fumble the ball too. Just a terrible mistake. You can't have that in the college football playoff, especially in the red zone. Those are 3 points that are being turned away. But USC, as of right now, still has a 3-0 lead, but that will not last much longer, it seems like. I actually thought that was going to be taken back to the house, but instead it is going to be recovered by the Orange, but they'll have to try to punch it into the end zone, which on this 2nd and goal, quarterback Jacob Butler, he's going to find his way into the end zone actually, and the Orange, well, they'll take the lead here late in the first quarter of action. The big question is, can they extend on this lead? As a throw over to the left-hand side, finds a receiver on the screen, breaks a tackle, and Kyle Jackson, he's going to score. Touchdown, Orange. And Syracuse is going to make this lead even bigger actually, and they'll carry a 14-3 lead into the second half. So USC in some trouble here in this college football playoff. So we'll see how USC can respond inside the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Warren Williams drops back over the right-hand side. It's going to be intercepted, and this could be going the other way down the sideline, and he is going to be gone like a girl in a country song. Touchdown, Orange. And Syracuse extends their lead 21-3 in what's been a little bit of a shocker here. Thought that this could have been a very competitive game, but instead it's USC that's getting blown out. USC with that 99 overall team, well, they're not certainly playing like that. And now Warren Williams has to do the dirty work as he'll run it into the end zone. Finally, a touchdown for the USC Trojans, but they will still be down by multiple possessions. Midway through the third quarter, though, as Butler drops back, he'll throw over the middle. He's got a receiver. This could go for a big play, and Jonathan Manson, well, he'll end up being cut down eventually, but it's going to get to about midfield. And the Orange putting together yet another good drive. looking for another score. Butler, he's going to run down the right-hand side, breaks a couple of tackles. Can you get away from the defensive lineman across the 5? And it's pushed out of bounds from behind. And Jacob Butler with another potential scoring opportunity. Does he call his own number? No, he doesn't. He calls on the running back, John Talley. And Syracuse is going to score again. 18-point lead for the Syracuse Orange. And this could be a big win for their program if they can win this quarterfinal in the college football playoff. USC now needing a miracle because there's only 4 minutes left. And they got a free possession deficit as Williams, he'll run it down the right-hand side, gets inside the 5-yard line himself. It sets up a 1st and goal opportunity as they'll hand it off to the tailback, who does fight his way into the end zone. Touchdown for Nick Richard. We'll see if they go for that 2-point conversion or not. It looks like they actually will. This would make it a 10-point game if successful, but Nick Richard, well, he has nowhere to go with the football. And that means that Syracuse will hang on. They will beat USC 28-16. And the Orange will move on to the semifinals of the college football playoff. They will await the winner of Miami and Washington in the next round. But before we get into that, we'll go to the other side of the playoff bracket where we'll have the undefeated Michigan Wolverines, led by their superstar running back, John Blair. Well, they'll be going up against Terrence Manson and the Rebels of Ole Miss, representing that new look Sun Belt Conference. Should be an epic battle on our hands. So, tie ball game at 0. Still no score after a few minutes of action. But that being said, we might be seeing Ole Miss get on the board here pretty soon, as Alfred Flynn, the transfer from Sacramento State, he's going to get a big-time interception, and it will set up this No, it's not a Terrence Manson touchdown! It's going the opposite way! The Michigan Wolverines, they're going to recover the football. Terrence Manson thought he was going to have a touchdown, but he's going to be access denied. He's just been friend-zoned from the end zone. So we still have a tie game here, 0-0 apiece, as both offenses really had a difficult time finding their footing here in this first quarter of action. Could be seeing some early game struggles, those early game nervous bugs happening. But hopefully midway through the second quarter, we finally see some offense pick up, though, as another fumble. What is actually going on right now? It's like Ole Miss is actively trying to throw this game. That is their 3rd turnover of the first half. And now Michigan with a chance to score. Goes to the outside. He's got some space out on the perimeter. Breaks the tackle, and he's going to be brought down at the 1-yard line, where they'll hand it off to their great running back duo. This is their backup tailback who's going to find his way. That's Maurice Hall. Will finally get the scoring started for the Michigan Wolverines with 3:32 left to go in that first half of action. And now it's Ole Miss that's down 7-0. And we'll see how Terrence Manson can come out and respond here in this second quarter, looking to respond to that Michigan touchdown off of his turnover, as Manson looking to scramble yet again, but it's going to get sacked in the backfield. The Michigan defense coming to play today, playing at an extremely high level right now, and Ole Miss has to settle for a field goal, but they will at least throw the field goal and make it a 4-point game at halftime. So here we are in the second half. Ole Miss did elect to defer, so they'll have the ball to start the second half. And how about this run to get it started? That is their backup quarterback, Clarence Lideker, who is coming in after the starter did get a little bit shaken up. Terrence Manson had to be evaluated for a concussion, but he might come back later in this game depending on the results of that concussion testing. But no, we actually still see Clarence Lideker in the game here in the fourth quarter as William Triple continues to tee off. He now has 3 sacks in this game, and it leads them to a 3rd and 16. Gotta make a big play down the field, and they get it. Big play, and this might go all the way. Yes, it doesn't. Oh, I thought he was gonna break that last tackle, but he'll be brought down inside the 5-yard line. Querns Whitaker runs to the line quickly. He's gonna set up a nice read option to Alex Williams. Punches it over to him in the last possible moment. And how about this? Ole Miss in a defensive struggle. They will be taking down the Michigan Wolverines 13-10. Ends up being that final score. What an electric game for the defenses. And we'll see if they can keep it up as we go to our next quarterfinal matchup. This is who Ole Miss would be playing in the semifinals of the college football playoff. We got Wisconsin, who is the Cinderella. Came in the conference championship weekend unranked, but because of some upsets and also the American Conference being strong enough, that's how they find themselves here in the college football playoff. But taking on the number 1 team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins, and it looks like UCLA early on showing why they could be that number 1 team in the country. Although, even though they've had their fair share of big plays in this game, same thing that we saw in the previous game. You know, even though that we saw some big plays happening, it didn't necessarily equate to points being scored on the scoreboard. So Wisconsin is only down by a few points here with 2 minutes left to go in the first half of action as Terrence Douglas, oh boy, did he get lit up like a Christmas tree. But Wisconsin uses one of their timeouts. They do have 2 left to work with, as next play they'll try to throw over the middle. It ends up getting intercepted. Trying to throw that pass over the middle of the field, and there's a reason why Terrence Douglas does not throw the football very often. Just not a good decision. But UCLA cannot take advantage, however. So that does mean that UCLA still only up by a few points, but we finally see our first touchdown of this game. Midway through the 3rd quarter, Ryan Jude's going to run it into the end zone. Gives the UCLA squad a 10-0 lead as Douglas looks to respond by throwing down the middle of the field. He had a receiver open, but he just could not put enough air under that football. And Terrence Douglas, well, he looks absolutely dejected, but the defense of Wisconsin, they're keeping him in this game. And eventually does find some rhythm. He finds Ronald Hustins down the sideline for a 21-yard reception. We'll see if he can keep that rhythm going as I'll hand it off to the tailback. Goes over to right hand side. Ball's on the ground. UCLA recovers yet again. And on the verge of this game being a disaster for the Wisconsin Badgers. Exactly the opposite of what you want to happen. And now UCLA trying to make this a runaway game. And yet the Bruins score. UCLA gets it a 17-0 lead. And let's go, man. UCLA looking really good, showing exactly why they're the number 1 team in the country. But Wisconsin trying not to go down without a fight, but they're just making it worse for themselves right now. UCLA going down the sideline, a pick 6 after yet another Terrence Douglas interception. Just threw that comeback route just a little too late, and it ends up being costly. Leads to 6 points going the other way. So we'll see if the Bruins do end up deciding to bring in their backups. They still keep the starters in the game because they want to make sure that they're ready for what's coming next. Because after this game, the championship journey for the UCLA Bruins, it's going to get harder from here on out. You know, Wisconsin may be this team that's a Cinderella. Nice story, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's clear that Wisconsin just did not belong in the college football playoff this year. But to make things a little bit better, Wisconsin actually might score some points. Brandon Harper, the FCS transfer, he's going to pick up 14 yards on that catch, make it a goal line situation. And a couple plays later, Wisconsin, they will finally get on the scoreboard. And not only will they get on the scoreboard, they will also go for the 2-point conversion as well. Douglas taking his time looking for someone to get open. Could not make that happen, however, and UCLA Well, we'll be seeing them take on Ole Miss later on in this episode as the Bruins completely shut down the offensive attack of the Wisconsin Badgers, as UCLA is going to win by a final score of 24-6. So we had one more quarterfinal game to cover, and it is Washington, the number 6 seed in this college football playoff. Well, they will be taking on the number 3 ranked Miami Hurricanes, and them Hurricanes are looking to provide a whirlwind of a college football playoff. We'll see who ends up winning this game and going ahead and taking on Syracuse in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, as we'll jump in late in the first quarter. Hey, Mr. Carter, how are you doing? Casey Carter down the sideline, running it for 37 total yards. A big run that's going to set them up for this short little field goal right here. Kick is up, and it will be good as well. Miami will extend their lead to a degree, but Miami not able to finish drives early on. We'll see if they can change that here as with 2 minutes left in the first half. Chris Thompson catching one on a dime. That's his third catch of the day. And once again, Washington, they are in their own territory on the defensive end. Carter dropping back meanwhile. He's going to face some pressure. He's going to take a sack in the backfield. Brought down by Vernon Triplett. And it makes it 2nd and long. So we need a big play out of Mr. Carter. He's going to throw down the left-hand side. And how was that caught? Corey Tunnins. He mosses not one defender, but 2 defenders there. Absolutely insane. Sets him up with a red zone opportunity. And Marvin Downing, well, he will be down in the end zone. That's a touchdown for Hurricanes. And Miami makes it a 13-0 lead. As we now jump into that second half of action, Washington still looking for their first points of this game, and this might be the spark that they were looking for. Tough run there by their tailback, John Moore, who gets his biggest run of the day so far. And for the first time, Washington is across midfield. And they go back on the ground with Joe McDaniel running the option. Pitches it out to the left-hand side. He's across the 30. Brought down shortly after, but J.R. Tucker with yet another nice run. His first carry of the day goes for a 20-yard rush as they keep it on the ground. You know, if it's not broke, why fix it? And Joe McDaniel finally gets on the board for the Washington Huskies, who cut it to just a 6-point game. Meanwhile, late in the third quarter as Miami looks to respond, but that's going to be some trouble going down the sideline. He's caught from behind. But here comes the Washington Huskies as Chris Terrell, the linebacker, able to pick that pass off. And the Huskies now with a chance to take the lead for the first time today. Fires over the middle. But Joe McDaniel's going to throw an interception of his own. And that's a tough pill to swallow. As we now get into the fourth quarter, Washington still trying to look for that second offensive touchdown of the game, but on a 3rd and 4, McDaniel, he does escape pressure, but he's going to throw another interception, and that is all she wrote. Miami will tack on a field goal to make it out of reach, and not only will the Miami Hurricanes, will they win in the Fiesta Bowl, but they will be moving on to the semifinals of the college football playoff in order to take on the Syracuse Orange. So that officially gets us down to 4 teams. But now we will not wait much longer as we will jump right into the semifinals of the college football playoff. UCLA, that number 1 ranked team, they'll be taking on Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming in just off a close win against the Michigan Wolverines, providing Michigan their first and only loss of the entire season. Whereas UCLA, they took down Wisconsin pretty convincingly, had some pretty good game control throughout. And we'll see how Terrence Manson can do, but on the first play of the game, he throws an interception. Oh, that was right to the linebacker. Luke Barnes, probably the easiest interception of his career, but in spite of the great field position that UCLA had, they somehow found a way to not get a single point out of it. You absolutely hate to see it. especially because Ole Miss was playing very sloppy in this game early. They come out here, they turn the ball over 3 times in the first quarter, and that's how this game is still tied. Even though UCLA, still after over a quarter of action, they have still not gotten a single first down. But Ole Miss will finally have a chance to take the lead, and they will get those first points on the board with less than 4 minutes left to go in the first half. But UCLA will work to respond as Ryan Jude drops back the pass, looks towards the right-hand side, and Alfred Friend with the interception. Certified ball hawk, as he is not messing around and finding out. And how about that? Ole Miss still having the lead against number 1 ranked team in college football, the UCLA Bruins, and looking to extend that lead as well, as Stephen Castillo with a 49-yard rushing touchdown. The Bruins, well, they're going to be in some trouble now. Ryan Jude desperately needs to make some plays happen, and fast. They've been shut down all day today, but this big play could spark the UCLA offense as Rob Townsend goes for a very nice 69-yard gain, except they can't finish in the red zone. They do settle for a 35-yard field goal, but UCLA, they do also get on that scoreboard as well. However, Terrence Manson looks to get the second upset of this college football playoff tournament. However, throws it right into the hands of a DB, and he's going to be gone like a girl in a country song. And the 4th turnover for the Ole Miss Rebels, what ends up being absolutely just despicable. So it's going to be a tied ball game going into the 4th quarter because of that. Whoever wins this quarter is ultimately going to win the game, and Terrence Manson, he looks to be that guy to bring Ole Miss home. He's had a rough day, 3 interceptions, but he's still competing hard and has a chance to give Ole Miss the lead. Manson runs it into the end zone, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Ole Miss Rebels. They take the lead with 5 minutes left and a chance to shut the door too. Manson again trying to scramble, but he puts the ball on the ground. UCLA now has the ball inside the 35-yard line. Just an absolutely reckless decision. And now UCLA with a chance to tie, and they immediately will do exactly that. Brent Childress finds his way into the end zone. And all they gotta do is hit this extra point, and they will tie this game up. But it's missed. He hits it off the upright. Oh my goodness. So Ole Miss still has the lead, but UCLA with a chance to win the game. Jude fires to the left-hand side, and Sean Rivera catches it. Does get out of bounds quickly, and with 15 seconds left, they're going to settle for this field goal. It's up, and it's going to be good. UCLA is going to be walking it off, and sure enough, we will see UCLA in the national championship game. We'll see who they go up against. So UCLA, they will be awaiting the winner of Miami and Syracuse, 2 teams that were in the ACC conference together before we went ahead and realigned these conferences based off of a geographical standpoint. Should be a fun matchup. Who's going to come out on top? Will it be the team that has looked arguably the most dominant team all season in the Miami Hurricanes? Or will this little Cinderella in Syracuse? Will they be the ones coming out on top? And it looks like Miami is going to be in a position to score early. As first drive of the game, Miami just marches right down the field, gets it inside the 10-yard line, but on a 3rd and 6, Carter's going to throw over to the right-hand side and throws an interception. Going down the sideline. He's not going to get caught. Oh my goodness. Midfield. 40. Okay, he actually does get caught, but still a phenomenal interception by Mr. Carter. Tell me, where have you been in this college football playoff? Syracuse would go on and tack a field goal off of that. But Jacob Butler, he'll throw to the left-hand side. He'll get it out to Pat Pleasant there, who gets a decent 6-yard gain off of that. Nice hit there by the Miami defense. On the very next play, though, going to run it up the gut, and it's going to be Anthony Lewis who finds his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Syracuse. And the Orange extend their lead further, making it a 10-0 lead. So Miami needs to respond back as Syracuse, they're trying to seize momentum, and it looks like it is firmly in the hands of the Orange. Huge interception, this one being Mike Jones, able to be that ball hawk deep in center field. Syracuse cannot take advantage, so still same score. However, in the next possession, Casey Carter trying to drop back the pass and gets dropped in the backfield by Corey Wilkerson. So, going to be a third down situation coming up. It wasn't a big loss. Carter looks to the left-hand side. He has an open receiver down the sideline. And if Corey Tuns would have found a way to stay in bounds, he was taking that to the crib. But instead, Miami's drive will still continue as they'll go with a play action. Has all day to throw the football. Guns a man over the middle. And it is Chris Thompson with the 31-yard reception. Can't finish the drive, unfortunately, so Miami will also settle for a field goal, and that will make it a 10-3 game. Meanwhile, we have the Syracuse Orange waiting to go back to work on defense. And how about this defense for Syracuse? They have been playing absolutely ball-hawking, suffocating defense all day. It's given the Syracuse team a chance to win as Butler looks over right inside but keeps Miami in the game. First turnover of the day for Jacob Butler. That could have made this a 2-possession game, but instead Matt Burnett gets his hands on the ball and Miami is still in this game. Late in the third quarter, Casey looking to drop back and answer. Casey looks over the right-hand side. It's got a guy. First down for the Miami Hurricanes. And now we get into that fourth quarter now. Continuation of the previous drive. Casey looks to the right-hand side. And it's going to be a muss by Antoine Bryant. How about putting that baby up on Sports Center? Da-na-na, da-na-na. And that means Miami now has a chance to tie. Carter runs it up the middle, and Marvin Downing finds the end zone. Touchdown, Miami Hurricanes. And it's a tie ball game once more. And Miami does get a field goal after that, which will send the Miami Hurricanes to the national championship game in a defensive struggle against UCLA. So while I was able to show the quarterfinals and the semifinals here on the channel live, unfortunately I couldn't do the same thing for this national championship because, as Lady Luck would have it, my national championship game file, it completely corrupts. So did not get any of the national championship footage, unfortunately. We did play it out, and Miami is going to win the national championship. They beat UCLA 41-16. Miami does end up with a perfect 16-0 season, while UCLA goes to 15-1. But I do apologize for not being able to bring that national championship over in your direction, though. The folks over at College Football Revamped, they did try to help me out. It is to no avail, and it certainly is possible that there might have been some user error on my end, but I thought I set up this playoff bracket correctly. I've used the playoff tool plenty of times, right, for College Football Revamped, so, you know, could be my fault, or it could be the the mod glitching out. But that being said, though, guys, we still have a very exciting episode, man. I'm so excited about this next episode coming in your direction. What we are going to go ahead and do in this next episode is we will have the off-season recap, and in that off-season recap, what we are going to go ahead and do is we are going to take a look at the award winners from this past season. You know, we got to see who ended up winning that Heisman Trophy, as well as the All-Americans, on top of other award winners for the other awards that are listed. Not only that, but we're going to have it even more comprehensive than those FCS Dynasty off seasons. Those of you that are OGs on the channel know what I'm talking about. So not only are we going to see the awards, not only are we going to see recruiting, but we will get a good coach carousel. We're going to take a look around the country to see which new coach is going to be a brand new head coach for various programs around the country, since head coaching vacancies they're always being adjusted, they're always being filled on the fly. So I'm excited to see how the coaching carousel plays out as well. And like I said before, we'll see that recruiting, who has the top recruiting classes, who is going to have the top individual players, as well as that will give you guys an idea of, for those of you that want to have a custom player in this series, who is going, if you want to have that, where you want to go and spend your next 4 or 5 seasons of college football. So guys, that is going to wrap things up. I do apologize for not being able to bring the national championship in your direction, but it just simply wasn't meant to be at the end of the day. Congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes, by the way, for winning that national championship. And I will see you guys next time that I bring this series over in your direction. We will end up having that off-season recap. So I hope you guys are excited for it. If you enjoyed this episode still, I encourage you to smack that like button, because that does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're brand new to the channel and you just plain love what you are seeing right now, make sure you go ahead and smack that subscribe button for me. I would truly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But guys, this is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. Hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.